It's the actor's job to strive for 100% effectiveness. Naturally, we never succeed, but it's the pursuit that's meaningful.
God, I hope our introductions aren't getting as predictable as these awards, Mary.
Oh, I hope not. Can you believe the season we're having so far?
It's very samey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where do we start with this?
I'm quite happy in a way that when it comes to Oscar night, I know that most of my predictions are going to be right
Yeah.
because everybody is winning the same award. They're going to every show and are winning, so you know who's going to win. But
It's got to be the safest year we've had
yeah,
in a very, very long time.
apart from Best Picture, which I think is probably the most open that it's been
Correct.
in a long time. I think there's 3 in contention for that. 1917, Parasite, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But all the rest, I think, they're so set in stone, I think, at this point. And I'm kind of missing the variety. I think I've seen more films this year than I have in probably any year, but only because they've nominated everybody for the same category.
Yeah.
All the films are coming up in the same ones. It's the
Yeah.
same, maybe, 7 or 8 films.
Yeah. The fact that 4 of them had either 10 nominations or more, I've not known that for a long time. I can't remember a time where it's been
I think
that many.
that might be the first time it's happened, I think. I'm sure I
Yeah.
read somewhere that that's the first time that many films had that many nominations.
So last night we had the Screen Actors Guild Awards. For those of you who are more familiar, you might know it as the SAG Awards, which for a long time I used to laugh at because I think that's a funny word. But also, we've also had the Critics' Choice Awards just over a week ago, I think, and we also had the Producers Guild Awards this weekend as well. So while we'll predominantly talk about the SAG Awards today, we might as well touch on the rest as well, seeing as they've been so damn predictable. So should we jump straight in? I mean,
Yes.
SAG Awards, it's about the actors. We're talking Best Actor, Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress. You'll never guess what.
Was it the same 4?
Oh, it is. It's the same 4. Yeah.
Never.
So there's only so much we can really say about them.
I just would like to say I'm kind of disappointed with the SAGs this year because it's usually the SAGs that has like that one kind of win that's like, oh, well, that's different. My example was Emily Blunt. It was the only one she won, but it was nice that it was different and somebody else got the win, and it meant that somebody else had an award.
Yeah. If it was going to be anybody this year, I so had my money on Lupita.
Oh, do you know, it would have been great. I really would
Yeah.
have liked, because you know that it's going to go to Renee every other one, and she's probably going to get the Oscar, and that's fine. But Lupita, it would have been nice to see her, because I mean, it's an absolutely incredible performance, a dual performance, and she should have been recognised for that. And if anywhere, I think I would have thought the actors would have appreciated that, and they obviously haven't.
No. Am I alone in thinking that the supporting awards for Brad Pitt and Laura Dern are not necessarily very well deserved? I'm a bit bleh by them.
I'm confused by them, I have to admit.
Yeah.
I think personally this year that they are both career awards.
Yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Neither Laura Dern nor Brad Pitt have won for acting, for an Oscar, that is, anyway. But I think it's a celebration of their careers. I like both, but they're just such a Laura Dern especially. She's just playing a person.
It's nothing remarkable. It's really not. She plays it good, and she's good, and she's enjoyable to watch.
But she always is.
Yeah, that role is not a challenge. And even Brad Pitt himself in the awards, he made a joke about it's such a difficult role. It's a guy who gets high, takes his shirt off, and then doesn't get on with his wife. And
yeah,
I think he knew that he wasn't the most deserving person. But they've obviously got unlucky or won a raffle or something this year that's giving them this attention. But
somebody's paid someone off.
yeah, maybe. So yeah, and these are awards that we saw the exact same blueprint in the Critics' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
It's the same we've seen in the Golden Globes. It's probably going to be the same we see in the Oscars. So no surprises there. But a nice surprise, I guess, was the Best Ensemble Cast Award, which I thought would go to something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
Mm.
or The Irishman, but it went to Parasite, which set a new, we say record, it's a historic moment because it's the first foreign language film to win this award, which is great. And they were
Yeah.
so excited. You should have seen them.
I think that might change the game in that we just appreciate the films for what they are.
Yeah.
It's just a film. It's not a foreign film. It's just a film, and it's being looked at in the same group with everything else. And I think that's, I mean, I don't do that. I need to do more of that. Just look at it as a film rather than, oh, it's a foreign film.
Yeah.
I think we all need to do that because I think it's an actual fact that we must be missing out on some amazing cinema because it's a foreign movie. And another historical thing for the night was Renee Zellweger's win for Judy was the first time that a woman has won 3 individual SAG awards. The only other person to do it, for film that is, was Daniel Day-Lewis.
No surprise there.
No, of course not. I wouldn't have said it would be Renee Zellweger that would have done it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she must have been
mad, isn't it?
very pleased.
I wonder if she knew. I imagine she would have known.
Somebody must have told her. Yeah, maybe when she was getting dressed beforehand. Did you know?
By the way, you're quite good.
No.
So yeah, the only other award then at the Screen Actors Guild that really concerns us in the film world is the Outstanding Stunt Ensemble, which was announced, strangely, about 2 hours before the actual ceremony started on the red carpet by 2 people I didn't recognise.
I wonder why they did that.
I don't know. This went to Avengers Endgame. It's the 3rd year in a row to go to a superhero film after Black Panther last year and Wonder Woman the year before. But I'm not so sure whether this is the most deserving win here.
Do you think it was maybe a marketing technique? The majority of the average film goers are the Marvel fans and the blockbuster fans and the people who just go to the cinema to see, you know, the big films, the exciting ones, and they don't really delve into the film industry as such. Maybe it was a tactic to, you know, try and get more people watching and, oh, look, we've given it to this thing that you like.
A very popular film.
Yeah.
Come and watch the rest, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter that I saw made a good point about the SAGs not really enjoying films with cars in them. So they didn't give it to Ford versus Ferrari this year.
No.
Last year or maybe the year before, they didn't give it to Baby Driver. Furious 7 didn't get a look in. Rush hasn't won it. But at the same time, films like Mission Impossible Fallout didn't win.
No.
And instead, superhero films are winning that as well. So you could very well be right there, just using that award as a
tool.
Yeah, to try and get more people to watch them or to watch other films. But
yeah,
I mean, if it works, great. But I'm not sure if Avengers really was the most deserving winner there.
No.
And where's 1917?
Exactly. That's very strange, and that maybe will move us on to the PGAs then, the Producers Guild Awards.
Yes.
Where 1917 was successful.
It was extremely successful.
It had a lovely night.
Yeah. Even though it's just one award,
I know.
It's very significant.
It's still the big one.
Well, what I found really interesting about the Producers Guild is that they are very good at being in sync with what the Oscars would choose for their best picture. So I've had a quick look over the last sort of decade or so, or the last sort of 9 films since 2010. They agreed on 7 of the 9 best pictures. The only ones they didn't were Moonlight and Spotlight, which I guess are comparatively quite small films. But everything else, Green Book, Shape of Water, Birdman, 12 Years a Slave, Argo, The Artist, King's Speech, they got it the same. So I don't know whether that's a good indication for 1917.
Well, I think Spotlight and Moonlight were, like you say, very small films, but Spotlight especially was a shock. I remember people watching it and being very surprised. And obviously we had the whole mix-up with La La Land and Moonlight, which was... But nobody was surprised that La La Land got up and people were like, oh, Moonlight, oh.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you can say it's fair that they didn't maybe predict that because they weren't the winners you would expect.
Exactly, yeah.
At all.
The Critics' Choice went with La La Land and... You know, they went with Roma, you know, these other ones. So it's definitely a mix, but I just think it's a good sign for 1917. I really hope that goes places. The other big theatrical motion picture award that they have is for the animated film. Unsurprisingly, it's gone to Toy Story 4, which again seems to be sweeping, apart from the Golden Globe, which obviously went to Missing Link, which was quite out of the blue.
Unusual. Yeah, very unusual.
So it could be a good year for Toy Story 4. Obviously, Toy Story 3 won at the Oscars when that came out.
I mean, Disney usually do well in this situation. It's
They do.
usually Disney that comes out on top. Remind me, who's got the nominations for the Oscars? I know Klaus is in there.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon, Missing Link, Klaus, Toy Story 4, and I Lost My Body, which I think is on Netflix.
I think it's probably going to be quite standard, but I really would love it to be
Oh, go on, Klaus.
or
Can you imagine?
I mean, my heart would be set on Klaus because I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't enjoy Toy Story 4, I did.
Oh no, yeah.
But I loved Klaus. I loved the style, the look of it. I just thought it was fantastic, and it was different,
so different.
Yeah. But alternatively, I would love for Missing Link to get it. Not that I've seen it yet, and it doesn't look as good as other films from Laika, but I would love Laika to get an Oscar because their films are so deserving of them, and they never win because of Disney. So
it is stop motion, isn't it, as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
it is.
We really like. I love stop motion.
I love stop
so
motion.
Clever. The only other two awards really that are important at the Producers Guild Award, I'm only mentioning them really because one of them's the documentary feature. The winner was the snub from the Oscars, which is Apollo 11.
Yes.
Well, you actually made a really good point earlier today or
yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually really convinced by this.
Basically, the documentary branch of the Academy, the last few years in a row, the probably favourite, apart from was it Free Solo last year, which was pretty.
Oh, of course,
I mean, that was just amazing. But the years before that, and even last year, with Won't You Be My Neighbour, they were snubbed for nominations. Yet they were the biggest documentaries of the year, and they were favourites, and critics loved them. And the reason that a few people have said, and I think is probably true, is that they featured a lot of archival footage. And the documentary branch probably doesn't see that as very original. So they go for the films that are, truly original, that they've gone out and actually filmed the footage.
Yeah.
Built like an original film.
Yeah, even though they're telling true stories or they're looking at something real, they are a construct, and you feel like almost the documentary has its own narrative and its own style. So it's like a documentary subject, but it's delivered in a cinematic style. So yeah, and I'd never really thought about that before. What else is funny is the only other categories, the streamed or televised motion pictures, which included like the Breaking Bad film that came out, Deadwood the movie, things like that. Also, I mean, they love the moon. It went to Apollo missions to the moon, so they just, I don't know what else to say. They just
it's a real moon theme going on this year.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I guess that just leaves us with the Critics' Choice. They have a lot more categories. It's the most similar, really, to the Oscars, actually, which in previous years I hadn't really noticed. But it is. They have all the, you've got all your screenplays and your visual effects, your hair, your makeup, costume. And they've even got extra categories for the best action film, comedy, sci-fi, things like that.
They split the genres, which actually is kind of not a bad idea because, I mean, obviously the Critics' Choice isn't considered as high an award as some of the others. Maybe that's right, but it does allow other people to get awards, which I think is quite nice because there's a lot of cinema. It's like the whole Martin Scorsese thing all over again. Marvel is a type of cinema. There's all different types of it, and I think the Academy is quite exclusive at the types of things that they look at. So
they can
open it out and allow other people to get deservedly, an award for maybe a different type of cinema. I think it's quite good. I quite enjoy that. I like that there's more variety.
In a year like this year where everything's so samey and predictable, it is actually quite nice to see a film like Us actually get a sci-fi and horror film award, and I guess Avengers go on as well. Well done. But so what was interesting about the Critics' Choice is that there were 2 ties, and it's not something that doesn't happen because we had Lady Gaga and Glenn Close tie for Best Actress last year.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
This time around, we had a tie for Best Director. Sam Mendes and Bong Joon-ho, who did the South Korean film Parasite, both tied, and then also for Best Song, which is a really strange category to tie in, I think.
Yeah.
Went to Elton John's song for Rocket Man and the song from Wild Rose.
That is very unusual.
So yeah, it's weird how you can get tied, isn't it? I wonder how theirs works. I know about the Golden Globes, and there's like 90 Hollywood Foreign Press members, and then I get the Academy, there's like 8,000 odd Academy members, but critics, who are the critics? Who are they, and how do they get a tie? That's what I want to know.
There's an awful lot of them, I think.
It's just unusual that they have so many ties. I'm just wondering whether they're a bit more lenient if 2 nominees are particularly very close. Do they just go, that's close enough for us to say that it's joint?
Maybe.
It'd be interesting to
Maybe.
know that, because to have 3 ties in 2 years is bizarre.
Yeah, I'm surprised Song went that way, because usually that's definitive,
You
isn't
usually
it?
have a front runner.
When you listen to a song, you either like it or you don't, and there's usually a clear favourite, but to get a tie in Song's unusual.
Yeah. I guess the only other real thing that we can comment on in comparison to the SAG Awards is the Critics' Choice also have a Best Acting Ensemble category. Theirs went to The Irishman, but obviously last night Screen Actors Guild gave it to Parasite. I mean, it's not a category that's at the Oscars, so it doesn't really matter as such, but it's definitely interesting in terms of, say, Parasite's not a film that's got acting nominations, but an award like this could help push it to get to Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
These little extra nudges from other awards, just
absolutely.
keeping it in the limelight and keep it propelling forward. So I think that's interesting too. Yeah, and as I said, the Best Picture award for the Critics' Choice has only been 5 out of the last 9 times. So they went for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as their winner. It could very well happen at the Oscars, but I don't know. Their track record's not as good as the Producers Guild, who think 1917. So, well, it's not long now.
2 weeks.
It's just under 2 weeks away now. Sunday, the 9th of February. Oof. Although we've got the Directors Guild Awards coming up on the 25th and the Writers Guild Awards on the 1st of Feb, the next big ceremony is going to be the BAFTAs, which we can watch because it's here. It makes such a difference.
I know, yay! BBC iPlayer.
BBC, anything. Yeah, I'm going to watch it live. So that's on the 2nd of February. We'll react to that shortly afterwards. Now, I feel like I stole a recommendation last week, so I feel like it's only fair for you to have your own film recommendation this week. So just to even it back out, I spoke for both of us, I think, when I recommended 1917, because I think we both agreed it was great.
Yes, we both agreed it was great.
Oh, I'm glad.
It's stayed with me. I've been thinking about it quite a lot, actually. So, and I think that's the show of a good movie for me at the moment is the ones that I keep thinking about.
Yeah, it's a good measure.
But my recommendation for this week, I'm going way back here. I don't know if you'll have even seen it, Matt. I watched this week Look Who's Talking with Kirstie Alley and John Travolta and Bruce Willis doing the voice of the baby. And it is a mad. I don't know how they even got this made. So basically, Kirstie Alley, she has a baby, and I won't go into the specifics because it's a spoiler. But she has a baby. John Travolta is the cab driver who is taking her to the hospital and realizes that her waters have broken and nearly kills them getting to the hospital, and then he kind of just ingratiates himself into the story. But it starts off like the actual film, no word of a lie. The credits start rolling, and it is an egg, and a woman's egg in a womb, and it has sperm going to it. They talk. It's like it's mad. it's absolutely mad. And then
I mean, you've sold it to me. Come on.
when the baby starts actually growing, it gets like its own kind of basically is able to think and things.
Yeah.
It's Bruce Willis.
Wow. Okay.
Baby is Bruce.
I've never watched this, so this is interesting.
It is so funny, and it's really nice. It's really funny. So you've got a little baby, obviously doing the acting, well, just acting like a baby, basically.
Yeah, doing what it does best.
And sometimes it talks, sometimes it doesn't, but you hear all its reactions through Bruce Willis. His
Oh, right.
It's his voice, so he's reacting to people, and so it's all in his head. It's what he's thinking, but it's Bruce Willis, and it came out in 1989. And it's really funny. It's very heartwarming. It's got a lovely, happy ending, and yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I really
Very
enjoyed it.
good.
And I liked it so much, I watched the sequel afterwards.
Yeah. It's got to be done, I guess.
Yeah.
While you're in the moment.
But you should watch it. I'd love to see what your reaction would be.
Okay.
I really would.
It could go either way by the sounds of it. Okay.
What's your recommendation for this week?
Oh no, I'm not having one. I need to even it back out.
All
We've
right.
had one each now. Yeah. That was my idea.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But if I was to do one off the official record, I really enjoyed Bombshell yesterday when I saw it. It was much better than I thought it would be, and I think it's a bit better than some of the Best Picture nominees that we've actually got. I'd recommend it. I think it's a really good balance of fun as well as being interesting and important at the same time. And
Wow.
great performances. I mean, Charlize Theron. I mean, she was obviously very good in Monster when she won her Oscar in 2003 or whenever. This is the first time since then, really, that I've actually looked at her and seen her as a real contender. It's maybe the best thing I've seen her in.
They all were. I think it as an ensemble cast, I think it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think even they had a shot at that ensemble award at the SAGs. But, so there you go. Next week, then, we're going to do, as if you hadn't heard us talk about them enough already, but we're going to do a bit of a review of the Best Picture nominees at the Oscars, because we're getting close and we are, actually, we're doing pretty well. We've nearly seen all of them.
The best I've ever done, I think. Actually,
Yeah.
there's only 2 I haven't seen out of the 9, which is probably a record. So we'll be doing a little bit of a deep dive into each one, because we haven't really done reviews of them, really. So
No, we're not good at reviewing because we disagree.
we'll go into them in more detail and talk about their merits and things like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, maybe we could find a sort of gimmicky way of presenting our thoughts so that we don't necessarily disagree too much. I don't think we will. I honestly don't think we will.
No, I don't think we will.
I think it's a decent batch.
Definitely.
So yeah, so stay tuned if you want to hear our proper reviews of the Best Picture nominees for the Oscars. And in the meantime, I think that's goodbye from me.
It is. Are you going to tell them where to find us first, though?
Oh, poo. I suppose so. I'll have to do it from memory, though. We're on Facebook and YouTube, CineChat Podcast. We're on Twitter at CineChat Pod, Instagram, CineChat Official. And you're probably already listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Spreaker.
Or iTunes.
That's right, or iTunes.
Oh, hey. And if you want to email us to tell us how bad that exit was, you can email us at cinechatofficial@gmail.com.
Yeah. If you've got any suggestions as well, we're on the hunt for suggestions for after the Oscars for episodes. So if you can think of anything, please let us know. Our email account's gathering dust, so please do fill it up. Amazing. There we go.
Well, that's bye from me.
Yep, bye from me.